Joining me now is Andersen Capital Management Chief Investment Officer Peter Andersen. Peter, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. What's your thoughts on earnings season and how it's sort of colliding with new policies coming out of the new administration?
The timing is impeccable. You know, always, of course, we look at earnings with a lot of energy. But on top of this, Maria, we have so many executive orders by the day and Trump policies that are just impacting and sweeping terms in terms of the economy. So it's extremely hard to stay focused on earnings when you're also trying to factor in all the changes that the president's administration is imposing right now.
Well, I mean, look, you know, it's hard to figure out what's real and what is. I mean, you got China threatening a probe into Apple. You got China probing Google, and it's likely all in retaliation to, you know, the tariffs that President Trump announced the other day. So is it a real probe, or is this just, you know, foreign policy attacks and a move by China to investigate American companies?
I think we can drive ourselves crazy going over this kind of thing in detail. You know, is it real? Is it fake? Is it a negotiation strategy? So we need a compass now, right? And I think one of the main things we can focus on, you know, Trump is inscrutable in terms of what he's actually going to do with these negotiations. But for me, the compass is, I think he will always act in favor of supporting U.S. capital markets. So if you use that as a compass, then a lot of these things you can kind of put to side. Well, not totally put to side, but just say to yourself, look, whatever we think is going to happen, and the economists are full of opinions right now as to how to model the tariffs, et cetera. I think you always have to say there's a backstop here. So if he tries something and it doesn't work out, he will make an adjustment. I call it the Trump put, because I think that it's a protective measure that we can always rely on. There aren't other things I can predict about Trump, but I think that is the one stable factor that he will bring to the market.
Yeah.
They are all great companies. I will just add this little specter, though, into this scenario. There are going to be other competitors that are going to sneak up to them. And I think we saw a little bit of that last week. I'm not certain if that is a viable competitor, but, you know, there will always be a better mousetrap out there. And I think we have to be very cautious to see and keep our eyes open as to who these competitors are. When they show up and they have a better mousetrap, then I think these companies, even though they're great companies and they're growing at strong earnings, I still think that they will be challenged tremendously, and it could disrupt the entire AI market.
And you predicted a global AI sell-off back in October. Where do you see these AI stocks headed now, Peter? Because obviously we are watching lots of volatility, and that will continue as President Trump comes out with more tariffs, starts talking specifically about chips. Your thoughts?
Well, another sell trigger I have is something called the Great Enlightenment, when I think that companies, or mainly investors, will start looking at this and saying, okay, $75 billion spent on CapEx for this. Sounds impressive, but where are the results? And, you know, time is their enemy in terms of producing results. If you do a Google search, just for example, before this segment, I searched on Google, give us some examples of Amazon's AI applications. I think you're going to be tremendously disappointed right now as to what they come up with. I mean, better recommendations for sizing. These are some of the top applications they have. I think investors are expecting more when you put that much money into an investment like that.
All right, we will leave it there. Peter, it's great to catch up. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Peter Andersen joining us. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow for China Strategy and Fox News contributor Michael Pillsbury right after the break. You're watching Mornings with Maria live on Fox Business. Stay with us.